What's going on, sports card hobby family? Alf and I welcome you to another episode of the Sports Card Dad. Geoff Wilson,
you take the card and put it in the sleeve,
is back on the scene in his recent episode of the It's Geoff Wilson Show that he sits down with the team at CardsHQ and offers some transparency into the numbers in the first 5 days of operation. I'm going to throw out my thoughts on kind of good and bad on this, but also where I think the most opportunity lies for that store in the short term, maybe the long term as well, but just kind of my overall thoughts visiting it and hearing what I heard on the It's Geoff Wilson Show last night. Before I get started, I've got a huge announcement. I'm excited to announce that I have partnered up with today's video sponsor, My Card Post. Mark and the gang over there have designed a new and innovative platform in the hobby. It's a game changer, my friends. It's different from traditional marketplaces, designed to give collectors the freedom to make any type of deals with other hobbyists online. Subscription model, and I know a lot of you are going to go, oh my God, I have to pay money to sell cards? A subscription model, how is this supposed to work? For starters, the free account allows you to buy unlimitedly. So if you're just looking to buy with buyer protection, then that is a free account. If you're looking to sell, there's a few different tiers. $9 a month allows for 50 active listings to be able to sell on the site. For $19 a month, 500 active listings. And of course, you can buy and all the buyer protection and all those things. And then for $22 a month, it is unlimited as far as seller listings go. And when I look at this, and then when you factor in how much you typically spend on the buying side, if it's a buyer's premium place where you're buying something, where they're tacking on a buyer's premium, or if you're a seller, are you kidding me? What do you typically spend in fees on any given platform? So this can be a nice addition to what you're already doing if you're a seller. You might be wondering, okay, well, this is a fairly new platform, about a year old, a little over a year. How many people are actually using it? 5,200 members have signed up, paid members. More than 42,000 plus cards are on the site and growing. This is a site that is growing all the time. It is linked up with Mascot. I have actually not had any contact with Ezra since he took over Mascot, and Mascot is a platform that essentially allows a seller to shoot listings out to everybody. So you can sell on eBay, you can sell on all these different places. My Card Post is also signed up with Mascot, so you're able to very quickly, if you're already using Mascot, to go ahead and get your things over to My Card Post, which is huge. The idea of the site is to replicate the experience of a physical card show. You can buy, you can trade, you can make offers on single or multiple cards. You can also very easily combine shipping fees for multiple card purchases. Again, just saving members a lot of money along the way. Also, trusted community in the sense that you're able to upload your socials to your accounts. There's a seller that you've never bought from on the site, you're able to quickly check out their social media accounts to kind of just get a background on them. You can look at the Facebook, the Twitter, the YouTube channel. I added my YouTube channel, so you can get a kind of an idea of who this seller is, which creates a trusted environment, more transparency around buying and selling, and reducing scammy type behavior, of course. The beauty of the site as well is they're promoting open communication. So as to where maybe you might be on a site and you're looking and you're trying to actually buy that thing off site or sell that thing off the site to avoid fees, on My Card Post, you're not having to worry about that because there are no selling fees. There are no transaction fees. Communication is always encouraged between members to further these relationships. So again, buying is free on the site. Go check it out. I've got a link in the video description as well as in the pinned comments. Go through that link. It'll take you to My Card Post. You can start your journey. But again, on the selling side, there are no fees. There are no selling fees. It is just a low monthly subscription fee. So definitely check out My Card Post today, my friends. All right, we've got Geoff Wilson coming on the It's Geoff Wilson Show with his two partners talking about the first week of operation at CardsHQ. And I was kind of surprised. He offered some sales data. He offered some idea into kind of a little peek behind the curtain as to what sales look like in the first 5 days. Now, there's a couple things here. First off, 1,500 boxes sold of new product, which to me sounds like a lot. I don't run a card shop, never have, and I don't know how that compares to other card shops. And then 5,000 plus slabs were sold in that first 5 days. Now, many will probably say, well, yeah, but you had Culture Collision there. You had a nice boost from the trade night where there actually was a lot of people buying. And he actually said that in the video. He was surprised at the amount of buying that happened because it was set up as a trade night for Culture Collision, but there was a lot of it. I talked on my previous video on this to where I know one dealer in particular that himself, he bought 100 plus slabs out of the store. So it wasn't just the retail collector that was buying the stuff. You had dealers in there as well. Now he's also announced live selling is coming very soon. They want to get that up and running. There is a big concern around inventory there. You know, live selling, to me, I think that they're going to do well live selling. I don't know what Geoff's whatnot numbers are as far as sales, but I have to believe that they do pretty well there. That is a very quick, fast-paced buying and selling environment. I will say from what I've heard / seen from other sellers that there are opportunities for a little higher margins on that live selling platform. So to where they're buying aggressively in the store and maybe they've got a 10, 15, 20% margin on singles, which when you break it down, just not very much, especially given the overhead. I think they'll probably do a little bit better than that on the live selling platform. It's just the way that it's structured. I'm not saying it's going to be hugely better, but it might be, you know, an average of 20 to 25%, maybe even 30% on some cards, you know, selling through the live selling app. There's a lot of excitement. It's fast paced, like I said. So the concerns on that show, they talked about inventory. They have a lot of inventory now, but if live selling is successful and remain successful, they will always be needing to buy. They're offering what they said is 70% in store, which to me, again, that feels like a lot. And I'm going back to my days when I was a kid, and you know, card shops weren't offering anything close to that. People that are out there buying collections, do you think these people are offering 70% of comps when they walk in to buy a collection? They're not. I can assure you that they're not. And maybe they shouldn't. You know, look, it takes a lot of time and effort to piece out a collection, piece out, you know, a bunch of slabs and sell it. It could take 6 months, could take a year to sell some of this stuff. So I'm not knocking anybody that's offering 40 or 50% of a collection. There's a lot of work that goes into it. That's clear. But I think that that's a valid concern as they move forward. Geoff also explained that when he opened the Baskin Robbins, they had their record-breaking first month, and then it trailed off from there. It was never that good again. They had good months, but they started off really strong and were not able to replicate it. Now, he did say, and I agree with him, actually, as he was saying it, I was thinking exactly what he was about to say next. They were a one-trick pony selling ice cream in Gainesville. Granted, right across the street from UF, tons of college students that could go out there and buy. It's different here with this shop. He's got many areas where he can generate revenue. And that's where I want to get to my next point, where I think he's going to have the most success or the most growth opportunity, and probably why he set up the front of the store as TCG and Pokemon. I really think, especially when I'm looking at the clientele that are walking through there, they got everything on camera on that CardsHQ, like who's breaking and everything. There's a lot of families in there. There's a lot of families in there with young people. And I think Pokemon is really going to be the center of that business. We're on the sports card side. The people that watch this channel, Sports Card Investor is a sports card focused channel, but TCG and Pokemon, it's half of PSA's business. The largest grader in the space is grading about 1.2 million cards a month, and half of those are TCG, and probably 80% of that half are Pokemon. And then you've got Magic the Gathering, and you've got some of the other stuff, but the vast majority of cards that are being graded are Pokemon cards. And so I think that that's really going to be the profit center, whether it's going to be Pokemon trade nights, whether it's going to be box openings, different events that revolve around Pokemon, and the singles. And the one thing you have to keep in mind, and I brought up my friend Brian, who actually was at Culture Collision with me and was at the opening trade night. He has a son that's 11 that is big into Pokemon cards, and he flips out when he gets a 10, whether that's an SGC 10, a CGC 10, a PSA 10. At that age, they're just like, oh my gosh, it's a 10 of their favorite character. And it's just that simple. It's not like they're necessarily trying to make $1 million and wheeling and dealing on their Pokemon cards, but just the idea that it's a graded card, because that's another thing. For us, a graded card, ho-hum, we see graded cards all the time. For these young people, being able to open a pack and getting it graded, I think he's still doing bulk submits through Joe Got Baseball Cards. I think he's still doing the bulk submissions. I'm sure he's probably going to do really well with people that open boxes there and then would like to go ahead and grade, whether it be with SGC or PSA or wherever it's going to go. But there is going to be a lot of opportunity. I think the most opportunity in the short run, maybe in the long run, is going to be on the TCG and really the Pokemon side of things. I think the fact that with Fanatics, it's still kind of up in the air as to how that model is really going to be run. Is it going to be more direct to consumer? Are they going to really give shops a lot of product? So on the sports card side, it's kind of like, I don't know if we really have the full story yet as how Fanatics Topps is going to handle all their distribution. We'll probably know more in the next 6 months, year, couple of years. But Geoff has said before, you can't count on that. You can't be counting on allocation of that particular, Topps product or whatever to make the store run. That'll probably just be a bonus if they can get it. But man, they've got a lot of space there. I've mentioned it before too. Events, and maybe not a weekly event, but bi-weekly trade nights. Maybe some of them are focused specifically around Pokemon. I think that's going to be the real ticket and just kind of get people coming in. Repeat customers, I think they'll have an opportunity for a lot of repeat customers if they have that good experience. He's got that space to create the Toys R Us for cards for young people. And for the adult sports card collectors, he's got plenty of that stuff in there as well. I think it's a good sign that sales were strong in the first 5 days, but yeah, this is just the beginning of a long journey. This is going to be a marathon. This is not a sprint. So in the short run on the sprint, it looks pretty good. But yeah, we can't deny tons of overhead here at this store. It's going to take a village, to make that thing run. But I do like the fact that they're going in with many different ways to generate revenue there. All right, friends, thanks very much for watching today. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.